For me, Glen Helen is not just a place, it's also an experience. And one of the reasons that I care about it the most is because of some of the experiences that I've had here and have here every day. As a naturalist, taking students out to the pine forest so that they could look up pine needles and see the stars at night, or talking with couples who had their first meeting in Glen Helen a generation ago. Those experiences are so linked, this place, and one of the things that for me make it unique and wonderful. Our mission is to protect Glen Helen and preserve it for future and present generations. And we accomplish that through educational programs, through taking care of the land, and through involving the community and seeing that everybody's a part of our efforts. We are owned by Antioch College, and as such have a special connection to the students and research that can be done through the college, that we are right next to a small town of Yellow Springs, Ohio, so that people that walk the trails and experience the preserves are directly in proximity to everything that's happening in the small town, and that we have an incredible diversity of habitats in our preserve. So in the 1,000 acres that constitute Glen Helen, you can move from prairie to meadow to pond to streams to the cliffside slopes where I'm sitting now. Our programs try and help each of us understand the natural world and our place in it. How do we make decisions that help us do a better job of taking care of our environment? How many people benefit from the Glen each year? That's an interesting question, because on one hand I could say, well, about 100,000 people visit the Glen every year, and that might be one way to count. Or I could say, well, the Glen protects 1,000 acres of woodland, and everybody that draws their drinking water from the area around the Glen or downstream benefits from the Glen. Or I could say, well, the Dayton metropolitan area is a metropolitan area of around 1 million people, and having a 1,000-acre preserve in that region benefits everybody, even if they never set foot in the preserve. So how would I answer how many people benefit? Everyone in our region, at the very minimum, benefits from the Glen, whether or not they know it.
We are one of the oldest centers in Ohio. As part of Glen Helen Ecology Institute, we are attached to a 1,000-acre nature preserve with 6 biotic communities that children have to use as an outdoor classroom, an outdoor field laboratory. Not only do we educate the children that come to the Glen, but we also have a naturalist internship program. The naturalists come to the Glen, they undergo a 3.5-week training period, and they learn about our program, learn about our curriculum. They take the kids out onto the trails, and throughout the term we have extra training programs that are built into the program that allow the naturalists to enhance the knowledge that they have to offer the kids when they're out in the nature preserve teaching.
Sending it to the landfills, we're just going to turn it into soil.
One of the great things about our naturalist internship program is that we have naturalists coming from all over the world. We've had students come from India, from Kenya, from Cameroon, from Great Britain. All over the world we accept naturalists, and that adds a really unique component to our program.
Well, the curriculum, as far as the Glen Helen program is concerned, is a winning thing because of the fact that it's process-oriented, it's hands-on. You're taking the entire out of doors and making it your classroom. Now, this is a particularly good fit. We can see it as a climax of our elementary science program, which we try to weave in hands-on kinds of things, but here there are no restrictions or limitations. When you study a tree, you're in the midst of a deciduous forest. When you're looking at water studies, you're actually going into the stream and pulling out those kinds of things that would indicate the quality of the water. When you're talking about birds, it's not a matter of looking at pictures, it's actually going to the bird blind or the raptor center out on the trail with binoculars, looking for that particular bird and its many wonderful attributes. The curricular fit is wonderful, and I know there's a lot of pressure to perform well on state tests. Curricularly speaking, things that are on the test are reinforced here. There's an excellent fit. It will open horizons for teachers and students and will help inform your worldview and make you a better person. So Glen Helen has the ability to change a life. Probably most importantly, talking about transformation, is the transformation I see in the students that come here. Those kids that have been pent up by the classroom, feeling a great deal of frustration with paper and pencil ways of expressing themselves, find a brand new opportunity here of self-expression and finding themselves. I watch children that are in the margins socially, also finding a niche that's very, very healthy and wholesome, with the focus on cooperation and teamwork that they have at Glen Helen. Those people that have felt like outcasts often find themselves woven into meaningful activities, and it changes them. Their attitude, their whole look has been changed by the fact that they found something that makes a difference, that place being here.
Well, you don't know the beauty of Glen Helen until you get here.
Hands-on, you actually get to do the stuff that you just read about in school.
You learn about science and nature, and it's just a beautiful place. It's so much fun, and it's fun to be with your friends instead of in a little box.
Because we had to use teamwork, and if we didn't, we wouldn't make it.
The Raptor Center has a twofold purpose. Education is the primary purpose. That's education of students that come here, the general public, people that find birds and things like that, about raptors and about conservation issues, and it's also wildlife rehabilitation of injured and orphaned raptors. We use our birds of prey, the raptors, as ambassadors for all wildlife. So that means that when we're talking about those and people are learning about them, they can learn about how the kinds of things they can do to help the environment. We admit between 150 and 200 birds of prey each year that need help. People either call us and bring them in, they're injured, some of them are just young in trouble. We're able to release more than half of those birds back to the wild. We do have about 35 permanent residents that are here on site. Those are handicapped birds, and we use them for display and also for traveling. But both of these two would have definitely been dead if they hadn't been found and brought to us. So these are the kind of things that we really enjoy, and being able to share with other people to see them released. We have a poem that we do called Wild Again. With our brothers and sisters, we all share one world. There's one common spirit within. It's the wild things that help us survive on this earth. Without them, we couldn't begin. Once in a while, we have a chance to give back, just a little from all that we take. And the wild one returned to the circle of life is a part of the world that we make. And we don't know what will happen to these two, but we do know that they're getting a second chance, and we wish them well. I think the best part of my job is probably the releases. There are a lot of things also that are very sad, and so I think that I have never been unhappy to release a bird. It's always been a very, very exciting thing.
Well, land management, to me, it's a stewardship issue. You have to look after what's going on. Most of the land in this area is managed through agriculture, which is a heavy management regime, big machines, and things look like they're staying the same. But so if you have a natural area that's been grazed and logged like ours, you have to actively do things to nurture it. I would hope that visitors would experience the feel of the way Ohio was way back, pre-settlement. That's why part of the Glen is a national historic landmark. Our natural areas in Ohio are diminishing. They're constantly under threat, and to me, and it's really important for visitors and local people to support the Glen.